Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, I hope you have some tea out and until I'm not going to say anything to nibble or whatever because in respect to those who are on these hard times and everything like that. And it's like I'm kind of thinking maybe like I have so many like Excel sheets and charts of research for different purposes. And even with my recipe book and also with saving money, having a disability, we always have to look out for saving money and also having food delivered and things or groceries. And so I started a list a few months ago. And so I'm gonna see if I think that they might be useful. I might do a whole episode just about those resources and things. So, but okay, let's just dive right into it because part two, back to Mr. No Heart and why I broke up with that man because it's not going to be the just a part of part two. But when it comes to like me having to not only set the table, prepare the tables, look up the information for even where the wood and all the parts for the table came from, it, it's like people do not know how much work Black women have to put in, especially always having to be put down and told we're not smart enough, able enough, capable, and that Black women are hood rats or when like Black women are ghetto and all of these other things. But then when we do have the qualifications, then they just say, "Oh, you're only going to get the job because you're Black," even though we worked so hard and diligent and took so much time to get what we need to get done. But then they still hate on us. Then they still hate on us, and it's frustrating. But my ex, like he taught me so much about that where now I don't play. And I'm going to even talk about a little bit with my dating standards because do you know how many white men try to say I'm bougie, spoiled, or like stuck up and all of this other stuff? Because in my dating profile or with my standards, I want you to have some money for yourself. I want you to have at least a little money invested. And if you guys have been watching, you already know. If you guys have been listening, you already know. I, I'm talking about even an Acorns account. $5 a week or something. I do not $5 a like either a week or a day, whatever. Even it like especially with our economy right now, if it was $5 or $10 a month, it's something. At least it's some effort. But then at the same time with the food stamp, like it's like even if you have to put it on pause right now, I don't care. But I mean these are the things like especially like speaking of being judged, it's like a lot of men judge me and put me down, and especially a lot of colonizing men. And they don't even have to be like Republican. I've met Democrat men, especially Democratic white men, who they think they automatically are supposed to have more than me when it comes to either money, education, and things. And a lot of them hate when I have more degrees than them or certifications than them. Some of them even dropped out. But then they want to tell me that the only reason I got into school is because I'm Black. But I'm like, at least I finished when I got in. You escorted yourself out. You kicked yourself out. So, but it's like a lot of them are upset that it's like, and also having low self esteem and allowing so many men to tell me I'm not good enough either because I like, well, back then, undiagnosed disability and then being Black and like they whenever I would look the part, whenever I would look how I it's like I didn't feel like I deserved it, but I was like, you know what? Let me look the part. I want to own a business. I want to be in the business world. I want to be work for a marketing agency. Let me look the part. But they didn't want me to. They couldn't wait to degrade me. A lot of men, Republican or Democrat, Republican or like mostly Republican. I would say like 90% Republican, 10% Democrat. It's like they didn't want me preparing my seat at the table. They would put me down, they would judge me. And it's like when it came to, and this is why I I mention and I talk about invest. Let your money work for you. Let your money grow. Have an emergency account. And I know not everybody can do that, especially in these days. And then even when I was working like numerous jobs at one time, it's like as an independent contractor doing secret shops. It's like that is decent. Oh, you know what? For some of you guys who might be on food stamps and things like that, look up secret shops. Do you know how many fast food places and or grocery stores or places to eat need secret shoppers? And some people are gonna hate on me, like, why are you telling them about secret shopping? That's my industry. That's what I like. You know what? Hey, some people are probably not gonna do it. Some people aren't gonna, because you know what? It takes a lot of effort to look up these places. It takes a lot of effort to schedule them in and things like that. So it's not for everybody. But if I can at least, if that can help a couple people, and if that's gonna put food on the plate for a day, and then turn around and you might get a little of that money, like you'll get a few dollars and you could put that in your gas tank to go to work or get done what you need to get done. I don't care. I don't care. See, when I pass away and leave this earth, it's like I want an invitation to heaven. I mean, if I end up like, hey, if end up down below, I'm like, hey, at least I help people. It's like if you're gonna put me down for helping the poor and giving and doing all that, like, well, whatever. But I'm doing what I want to do, and what I want to do is help people. And I understand the struggle. I understand, like, when because a lot of people want to blame the poor. When I first finished my bachelor's, I was looking for work in so many places. If you guys have been listening, you already know some of my horror story interviews, like working at that law firm and then getting called the N word. Oh, he was just stressed. Shut up. And then the next day, a black guy tries to like call me. He called me the B word, the C word, and like. But so then when I don't, I talked back. I yelled at him, but then it's like they told me I had to leave. Okay, so you're gonna like I can get called the N word, the B word, the C word, and stuff within 12 hours of each other, and you're just gonna tell me that that you need these customers so badly that you're going to allow me you're not going to pay for my therapy. You're not going to pay for my mental health. You're just going to tell me to shrug it off and like for your money's sake, for your profit's sake. And see, this is what I'm saying. Don't blame the poor, because with some of us working different jobs and things, the way that we get treated, and then some people, they want to, like, I remember when McDonald's and a lot of the fast food places were striking so they can get $15 an hour. Oh, they don't deserve that. They didn't go to school, they didn't go to college. Maybe once the 15 minimum wage, or once minimum wage gets up to $15 an hour, maybe all of the salaries have to increase. Why don't you think about that? Why don't you think about and also once you see the $15, increase, or the minimum wage increase to $15, maybe you will see how that's going to help the economy, help the lower class and the middle class, because everybody keeps worshiping the upper class. They keep wanting the upper class to do better. People are like, "Oh, I want to see a trillionaire." What's that trillionaire going to do for you? It's like with Doge, how has that helped you? I mean, for Republicans, they just loved seeing Democrats cry. They loved the hate they got to pass. Like, they love the hate. They love the hate, you know. And most of the Republicans were cheering it on until they lost their jobs themselves. Huh. Yeah, that was interesting. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, yeah, like I was saying, just after I finished my bachelor's with a double minor and everything like that. And some people are like, who cares about the double minor? Well, One was in business and one was in business anthropology. So I'm gonna count them. And I busted my tush out for both of those too. So I was looking for job after job after job after job after job. Like you don't even know how many job interviews I went to. But then people kept pointing out my walking and or pointing out that I was black. You don't look like this resume. It's like, okay, where are your parents really from? No, no, where are they really, really from? And it's like, so what made someone like you study this? Anybody at the college could go and pick that degree, so I don't know where you're getting it. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like so many stupid questions. And people say there's no such thing as stupid. Once you tiptoe into the bigotry, those are stupid questions. Once you tiptoe into racism, those are stupid questions. Yes, yes, there are. So, but it was at a point where it's, and I was undiagnosed. So my mom, oh, it's like she is one of the main reasons I had the lowest self esteem that a person could humanly have. Because I'm still fighting off my low self esteem, but that's another story for another day. But it's like it was at a point where she would mock me, and or when I come back from job interviews and I didn't get it, she would literally mock how I walk. She was like, "It's because this is why you didn't get the job. You didn't get the job because of this. You keep telling the doctors that you're in pain and all this stuff. I don't see you in pain. I don't see this. I don't see that. See, you walk like this because you're lazy. You walk like this because you don't want to be right. You walk like this because you don't want to work. You're trying to have us take care of you for the rest of your life." So yeah, it's like people want to blame the poor, but it's like I'm telling this part of my story because there's a lot of people like myself where we are going to interviews and interviews and interviews. But then being a black woman with a disability, I'm getting judged at every, like, people are like there might be chairs at the table, but they're either burning them, hiding them, doing anything and everything they can to make sure I'm not able to have access to that table, to the chair. They want to make sure I don't. And so there was an open house for a job fair for the Detroit Zoo. And I kind of heard it on the news because I was upstairs. So I kind of heard it. But and then my mom was just like, you can't get a job anywhere else. You might as well go. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll go. And it was minimum wage, $8 an hour. But part of me was just like, you know what? It'll be something for me to put on my resume. At least it can be a start. And maybe if they're hiring for any of the marketing positions, maybe this is a good way. Like if I prove, like once I prove myself and show that like when I work hard. And so, yeah, I applied for so many jobs at the zoo. They didn't care. Yeah, I was only a minimum wage girl. They didn't. And I love the opportunity there though. It was one of the, let's see, it was one of the best emotional jobs, but one of the worst financial. Like they paid us garbage and they treated like, okay, this is all in my opinion, but the way some of that staff treated us is like my manager Rita, she was the best. Oh my gosh, she was the best. It's like if I was ever able to meet her again, I would want to buy her like a bouquet, like because they always say, to give them flowers. And now it's like, especially while they're still here, it's like I would want to give her flowers. And one way I'm going to give her flowers is I'm naming a character after her. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. But she was one of the best bosses I could have ever had. She had such a huge heart and she was patient. And it's like once she saw that my enthusiasm for working there, she trained me on everything. And it's like when I told her that I was going to be applying for one of the marketing jobs, she was like, make sure I'm one of your references. She was like, I got you. She was like, make sure. And she was like, you're an awesome worker, you're a team player. The kids, or the members there, like the parents and the kids, they're like, they adore you, they love you. It's like, it was to a point where I got the nickname Butterfly Girl, and I didn't know this until like weeks later, when one of the other like employees, I think she worked in the food services, she came by and I was like, hi, and I'm telling her about the butterflies, and all of a sudden she was like, oh, you're the Butterfly Girl. And I was like, what are you talking? And she was like, the members, they all call you the Butterfly Girl. It's like like they love you. And so, and I'll stop it there, because I talk about the butterflies and the zoo and stuff in other episodes. But it's like I worked 40 hours a week with that. And then I also started to nanny a family, and I started working for as a promotional model, because yes, like I forgot exactly, but it's like I remember someone bumped into me and she was just like, you are a pleasure. You're so amazing. And they gave me their business card. And so then I went to try out and I got the position of part time promotional model for Starbucks. And but the thing was, it wasn't every week, it wasn't full time. The pay was a little better, but it wasn't full time. And also, I was in grad school. So, and I'm saying all of this because I was still poor. But I just remember I worked so hard with that job, and it was minimum wage, like I said. But whenever I got, especially when I got to see some of the regulars and then some of the guests with disabilities, and I just remember one of the, like some of the parents, but one in particular is like her. Her and her daughter were going through the butterfly exhibit, and her daughter's blind, and she asked me to describe a butterfly to the best of my ability. And so I remember I went to one of the butterfly like zoologists and everything, and I was like, okay, I know that we're not supposed to touch the butterflies, but I was like, you have some butterflies that have passed away, and if I ask her to please just like if I tell her to wash her hands after, can she please, pretty please, like be able to touch a butterfly, so that, because she, and I told her she's blind and everything like that. And this the zoologist looked at, she was just like, you know what? Yeah, that's, I like that. That, yeah, I can see. And so she let me. It's like, so I took, and even while I was walking with the butterfly, I thanked the butterfly, because I was like, you do not. And I know, like, some people were like, oh my gosh, it's so stupid, but I let the butterfly know that you're, it's like, this is gonna help someone's life. And I mean, and some people think it's so minor, but when you have a disability, like all of your other senses are so meaningful and enhanced. So, like for a blind person to be able to touch something and feel the texture and picture something in their mind, and, or at least, okay, pick, like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I know some people are like, picture, it's like they're blind, but okay, at least, because sometimes, you know what, I do want to interview and talk to people who are blind, because I want to know what, like, even with their dreams, or do they have like, yeah, I have so many questions, and I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to be a see, I don't want to be naive with that. And that, I think that's the power of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it allows us to open up and understand each other even more. But anyway, I thanked the butterfly for what was going to happen, and it's like I went up to the mom and daughter, and I was like, okay, I have a butterfly that has passed away recently. And I was like, if it's really, really fragile, and I let her know about the butterfly and everything. And I even let her know the species and a couple facts about her. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna let you touch it. I'm gonna put it in your hands, okay? But I was like, and I told her it was really fragile. And it's like when I unfold, like, because I had it covered up at first, but then I remember when I took my hand off, like the mom was just like, oh my god, oh. And so it's like her, like the mom, like she was I think teenage, yeah, she was like, the daughter was a teenager, and so it's like the mom kind of like helped me help her, like like place it in her hands and everything. And it's like I said, it was a minimum wage job, but so it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had when it comes to getting my life together and trying to get my resume together. But at the same time, it was one of the best jobs I've ever had because I will never forget that day. The smile I put on her face, and the mom started crying. And so I was just like, no, 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 happy tears, only allow happy tears to exit. And it's like the daughter was like, this is so cool, this is amazing. And it's like even the daughter, like she was like, can my mom touch it? And it's like at first I was like, she's not blunt, but then I was like, you know what, this is a mother daughter experience. And at least like when they get in the car or while they walk around the zoo, this is an experience that they can have together. And so I just told the mom, it's like, I'm going to need you to wash your hands and everything after. But yeah, it's like, you know what, yes, you can. And so the mom has it in her hands, and it's like, and because when the daughter is kind of describing it, the mom's like, oh my gosh, I understand. Yeah, it does. Because she was comparing it to something, I think, at their house. And that's when the mom was like, yeah, you're right. And she was like, I would have never thought of that, or I never would have put two and two together. So then I was really glad that I allowed the mom to, touch the butterfly as well. And so I do have to, give a nod to that beautiful butterfly that a lot, like, I know she passed away, so, but I mean, she's up in on the Rainbow Bridge, fluttering everything, being her beautiful self. But it was one of the, yeah, like one of the best experience type of jobs because there was even a set of twins who they came every week, sometimes twice a week, and they made sure to see me every time. And one of the, like, I would get on Princess and Prince Charming level. One of the twins, she always gave me a hug, and I will never forget the first time I met them because, or I think, no, the second time, because one of them, she gave me a hug the first time I met them, and then the second time, like they both ran up to me, and one gave me a hug, and then the other one gave me a hug and then a kiss, and I was like, hold up, wait a minute, and I looked at the parents, I'm like, okay, you guys saw that, y'all got like okay, I'm like, we all on the same. And the mom just kind of laughed, she was like, oh, she loves you. And she was just like, yeah, she was like, don't worry, like she's a very loving person, and she sees your spirit, she sees your heart. And so, like, but yeah, every single time they came to the zoo, that was the drill. And see, that whole time, like, I was making $8 an hour, that is it. It's like I was making the minimum of minimum wage, and I was working 40 hours a week. And I put my heart into that job. And the only reason I didn't make it until the end was because I got offered a nanny job because of a customer at the zoo. She saw me and she was just like, oh my gosh, you're so radiant and vibrant. I love your personality. And my daughter, like, it was a baby, but she was like, she giggled like every time she sees you. She is just giggling and everything like that. So I ended up nannying for a few months with them. Yeah, like, well, that's another story, but yeah, it was a good job. It was a nice job. But yeah, they had huge dogs. Ooh, yeah, that was part of the, yeah. But then, and also I did promotional modeling for Starbucks and that ended up being a few years as well. And but yeah, still not being able to get my life put together. It's like I was in grad school, so it was basically go to work, go home, study, and yeah. And oh yeah, it's like when I met, I think his name was Scott. He's not gonna care. It's like that was like I forgot the name. Like, I don't remember any of the episodes. I mean, I do, but I don't. I mean, I remember the Mr. No Heart ones because those are strictly about him. But with Scott, I met him while working at the zoo, and we were dating and everything. But he's the one that told me that he was not going to allow me to be a promotional model anymore. And he said that we are going to break up if I did not quit. Even though, like with promotional modeling, if you guys have remembered, like I went to school for business and I went to work for a marketing agency, and I couldn't get the marketing slash advertising jobs because mostly because of how I walk and because I'm black. And some people are not going to believe that, but if you don't sit in the interview rooms, I've already said some of the racist questions. I've said so many throughout the episodes that they used to tell me. It's like I have over 520 episodes now. I think I'm close to 530. But it's like if you don't know, like especially even like on top of the racism, it's the bigotry and the ableism. Oh, why do you walk like that? Is that permanent? Are you going to get that fixed before you try to work here? Well, if that's permanent, our clients are going to be distracted by your walking. Oh, well, if you walk like that, that's going to make us look bad. And as I could see, when they see someone disabled, they automatically think poor. They think you can't make the money. They think you can't uplift them or their image or anything because having a disability means a certain image and an image they don't want anything to do with. Oh yeah, well we don't have an elevator, and or oh I doubt you want to climb these stairs every day, or our parking lot is so far away you're going to tire yourself out and you're going to quit within a month. Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, even if they think these things, they're not allowed to say these things in the interview. And then some people say they're against DEI, but they don't understand what people that are black and people with disabilities go through. Because when they see us, they see poor. When they see us, they see lower. When they see us, yeah, they think there is no way that they can be on my level. And if they are on my level, that's a threat to me because I am supposed to be above them. That's what Mr. No Heart said. Yeah, you thought I forgot about that. Because yeah, Mr. No Heart he couldn't stand that I had my own investments. He could not stand that I was saving for a house. He couldn't stand where I grew up. He couldn't stand any of that. It's like, I mean, and because I will never forget when I was starting to invest money, or not even start, but there was a new site that I found and I started investing on that site or app or whatever. And he wanted his 2 cents in it. He was like, oh, well, I think you should invest in this and this and this. And I already invested in two of them like over a month ago. And I'm like, okay, so why do you think I should invest in this company? And he was like, yeah, that one's a quick buy. And I'm like, I don't do quick buys because I'm not just going to stay next to my with the app all day to see what's going to go up and down. I want long term. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. Oops, I'm going to need a part three. But anyways, thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.